Hello and welcome back to the Steady Yeti TCG Pokemon channel. I got a cool deck for you today. It almost feels like a battle deck or whatever they call those little pre-made decks. It's kind of good, but it's not gonna do you very well. Except they made a cracked one with the new Lucario coming out. That'll be super cool in May to see. Definitely some changes will need to be made to that. It doesn't really need a secret box, but overall it's a pretty solid list. I was going to say, as you can tell, we're not doing too good on the ladder right now. I was kind of wanting to be around 1650 by the time I made this video, because I don't expect to win with this deck at all. And you'll see why soon. But it's been up and down, off and on, and having some disconnect issues because, you know, Pokemon TCG Live is an amazing client. And yeah, so let's get into the list. So this is what I call Luxeals, and it's kind of an old retro-spec to the deck way back in black and white, Zekiels. So it would play Zekrom and the electric with the Dynamotor attack or ability to replenish the energy from your discard pile to your heavy attackers. In this deck it's Luxray, maybe Electros if needed. And it's just a very aggro stage 2, stage 1 style deck. It's pretty straightforward. You have a few little niche things that's really cute. This Stun Fist can actually put in some work. For one, it does 30, and then the opponent can't retreat, and it does 100 to the defending Pokemon from any of your attacks, not just the Stun Fist, on the next turn. So that's pretty funny. There's been a lot of times where you could like trap like a well, I'm lost for words here. Trap a Kangaskhan in the active and then come in and hit something for 200. You know, that's pretty easy to hit on turn 2 in Pokemon, and then you can knock out a turn 1 Kangaskhan, and that's just crazy. Luxray, Baby Luxray is pretty cool for colorless and a lightning. It does 70 for each prize card you've taken. That is a very clutch card. Every once in a while it'll come back and get you a game. But pretty much this is an entire deck that is weak to fighting, and you're just on a unfair stamp and pray game plan, or a Xerosix and pray game plan. Something super cool about this deck is its first attack on Luxray, Piercing Gaze. It says your opponent reveals their hand, you choose a card. So kind of like Absol's attack. I think it's Claw of Darkness that does that, not Terminal Period. I think it's Claw of Darkness, where you can do 200 and make them discard a card. This one does is 120 and you discard a card, but it's really,
the life cycle of a
excuse
frog.
me just a second.
And it can even
It's really cool to get into like Xerosix them and then make them discard a card, or unfair stamp them then make them discard a card. It does some work typically. So yeah, that is the deck. So let's hop into some games, see what we can get rolling here. Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, since the entire deck gives weakness to fighting, it's not going to be a good meta contender at all. But it is still playable, and you know, something around the lines of a fun deck. This Rotom is pretty funny. Crushing Pulse, your opponent reveals their hand, discard all items and tools. So like hitting that turn 1 is pretty silly sometimes. This deck has a little bit of an aggro package with this Luxio specifically that it lets you evolve if your opponent has an active EX twice in a turn, so you can get into Luxray pretty quickly. Okay, so I'll probably go ahead and Pokepad for a Shinx. Yeah. And then although it shouldn't do much. Throw the battle cage down to get it out of the hand and judge. And that's why I was wanting to judge right here. I had a really good setup with the Luxray and the Luxio, but I wanted to be able to try to get energy so I can Crushing Pulse. And this is just kind of what I'm saying by this deck. Typically has a pretty strong control style matchup. Unfortunately, he didn't have any items, and then he drew the best one in his deck right after I did that attack, of course. But every once in a while, you can get into some cool little niche sets where you can do some crazy stuff. Alright, well, we're looking at a turn 2 Venusaur. That is scary, especially with the lack of stuff here. If he didn't, I was going to, so. Okay, looking decent. We could definitely get something going, maybe. This is kind of the thing too, like this deck, it really needs to draw a specific set of cards in the beginning, and if you don't have those, then it's pretty bad on setup. 20 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active. So I could do 40, it doesn't seem ideal. I'll go ahead and throw the air balloon down, and I think we're just going to Crushing Pulse again. Once again, they don't have any. That's so ironic. The one time I get to do this, they don't have any. Typically, they have like a whole bunch, and I'm like, man, wish I had my Rotom. So they are going to take a knockout, which I expected. Yeah, not getting a good draw here at all. I was really hoping to hit a boss right there, because then we could stall this Ogerpon, because I doubt they're planning to switch with this Stunfisk to pick up on the prize trade, but it does not look like that's going to happen. And I kind of want to throw the lightning on the Stunfisk, but at this point there's not really a reason, so I guess we'll throw it here and then Lilies. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. I'm not going to say we're rolling, but we're definitely in the right direction, so. Get a Luxio. Ball. And I really want to stamp here. Yeah, it's kind of just stamp and pray, because they are definitely in the leading position. Didn't quite get us where we need to be. Go ahead and get another Tunamo, and actually, I think I'd rather have Tetsugiri if I can only get one. Shouldn't have finished that Shinx. And then free retreat into Tetsugiri, and attract customers. None. Cool.
What would you tell a man who can scroll for hours?
And that'll be it. I think Venusaur deserves a lot more love than it gets. I think the typical Venusaur Ogre Pawn is a strong core. I don't think the deck needs Meganium, because as you can see, he has more than enough energy. There's no reason reducing the amount of energy. It is good to have Meganium as like a backup booster for your Ogre Pawn if they knock out your Venusaur, but it doesn't ever feel necessary. I'm going to go into this free retreating. Let's see what I send. And there's a Lilies. Well, I have one energy in the discard. Lilies. There's a Luxray and a Luxio. Luxio. Retreat. Luxray. Pokebag. For an electric, get down the electric, ramp onto the free retreat, and then hit for 250. Kapow. Canary is a super cool card. Especially, it does have some synergy with the electric. You can discard energies for ramp. Luckily, you have plenty of discard energy anyways. You don't necessarily have to have that, but I'm going to be able to get another Luxray and then a Dynamo and electric to start setting up double ramp, which is what you want. Wally's kind of a bummer to see, but wow. I guess he's doing that to draw, which typically means his hand is not very good. Unfortunately, we don't have much more disruption left. So I'm going to attach here. I'm going to Dynamotor to Luxio. Wow. And for some reason it's not letting me play this Canary. Because it covered it up with the energy and it's thinking it's an energy. Pokemon TCG5. It's also not letting me retreat, so. Super fun stuff here. Hey, it's back. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sitting around waiting all day. really unfortunate because there was a possible comeback train that was definitely happening there, but I have better things to worry about than a game lagging. So I guess we'll just hop into another one and hopefully it won't do it. It's another reason my elo's kind of dropped a little bit because I'm dealing with lag and stuff from the client. It is what it is though. They can't all be 10s, a good buddy of mine used to always say. They're going first. I really like that because this deck has a lot of items it relies on. So if they Badoo, then I at least have a turn to set up. Okay. Fighting. So we might have won the first game. We're probably not gonna win this one. Alright, well. Go ahead and start throwing some of the boys down. Now I really like holding on to this unfair stamp for possible next turn setup because I assume they're going to just go straight into Lucario and Noctis. So I think I'm gonna Canary this Ultra Ball and start getting Pokemon. So Luxio, Luxray. Oh, give me that. Right on. Yeah. Another Tynamo and Electric. Throw that down. And unfortunately, we don't have any energy to fire off here to start, so maybe we can start getting some next turn. That'd be good. Realistically, just have to put one in the Discord file and then draw one, so. Switch. He is going to get aggressive here, which hopefully, like I said, plays in our favor. Throw up a Tynamo just because it has free retreat. We'll definitely be pulling it back. Eventually, it probably doesn't do much, but we can get it out of the hands. Still didn't draw any energies. Such a bummer. Curious if there's a way. Doesn't appear to be a way. Maybe I should have retreated last turn and sacrificed a Tynamo. Let's just go ahead and stamp, I guess. There's the Luxray. Still no energies. So, I mean, lilies. And we still don't have any energies. Go home team. We do have another electric though. Oh, I was supposed to put that Tetsukiri down first. Whoops. Tilting a little bit. Faster. Probably should have thrown the air balloon on something, but not thinking very clearly since I'm somewhat annoyed. Game 1 we had a decent game going, and then the game lagged, and then here is game 2. We're just getting rolled because we can't draw well, but part of it, I guess. That's what the cool kids say. Well, there is A energy, so we're getting somewhere. Go to the ball. Destroy the lightning. Draw 4. And not draw absolutely anything we need. Cool. Go ahead and throw that on Alexio. I'll throw the second one on Alexio to see if he wants to throw away a boss maybe. To hit this because we have energy here, plus Dynamotor to get back in mode to try to start churning some damage. Although at this point we're probably just at a loss. I'll go ahead and attract customers within the deck too.
I tried everything. Off Pomodoro.
I wanted to shout out to Trust Your Pilot Pokemon TCG. He built this deck, and I think he did a very good job at building the deck. I personally just think the draws aren't here today. Carmine is very interesting to see in Lucario. Yep. Shaman's not going to do a whole lot. Canary destroyed Shaman. There's a way we can keep churning this. I could get into some cool stuff. Get it just in case. Guess I'll just attack. That is a beautiful wally bug, though. That's the first time I've seen that. I think we're just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Give them a thumbs up for playing a good deck. Yeah. Unfortunately, every fighting matchup you're just gonna get rolled, and there's a lot of good fighting decks in the meta right now. Lucario is a bad matchup, but the baby Okie Dokie, that is just miserable because you just have such a hard time in the prize trade because they're pretty much one-shotting everything you're doing, and you're also one-shotting them, but you're one-shotting a single prize where they're one-shotting 2 prizes. So, like I said, super cool deck, super fun deck, definitely not competitive, but we'll go ahead and hop in one more game and see if we can possibly pick up a win. If we win this one, we could have been 2-1, but like I said, that lag caused issues. Choose to go second. This is a decent starting hand. Once again, it doesn't have any energies or any way to churn energy, but we got some good stuff rolling. We got a buddy popping to set up the bench. We got a boss to possibly stall, a judge to reshuffle. So we got some stuff. Risky Ruins is never a fun card. Alright, well, Poppin. I almost want to just put these down. Can we do that? Well, technically we can do that. Until we can start setting up our stuff. Download some Namo. Oh, I didn't think about the Risky Ruins. I guess we'll do them once. Yeah, balloon. Trade into what it is. And judge. Yeah, 20 HP basic is not gonna cut it probably. So it's itchy. Hopefully that stalls them to where they can't do anything for a few turns so we can get set up. The double energy attachment there is very interesting. Surely they're not retreating. I was gonna say. Should have put this guy up anyways. Guess we can go ahead and Ultra Ball here to get a Luxio. Get some HP on this. subtract. Try to hit a Lilies. We did hit a Lilies. We hit all of the spores. I could definitely get double electric here, plus Luxray, but once again we don't have any lightning, so let's just hope we can do that next turn, I guess. So there is some lightning. Definitely throwing down this battle cage. And then throw an energy here. Maybe here. So we can save at least one eel. And then we could Ultra Ball for another eel. Huh. Don't have another eel. What's the irony of that? I guess I should have deck checked. Guess we'll get a Luxray. Downloader. This deck does have a little bit of a clunkiness to it with the energy only on the bench Pokemon with the Luxray and all that. Like, it's where you kind of want to retreat more than once a turn, so it kind of needs like a switch style thing when it comes to like hands like this where you're really behind. You really want to look for some kind of switch card and energy switches too, so there's probably going to be like a revamp list that I make personally where it's just straight Electric Luxray with switches and energy switches. Although if I'm doing that, I might as well just play Dragonite because it would probably be better. I just like Luxray as a 2-prize knockout instead of a 3. Coming from my eel. Retreat. Okay, that doesn't hurt too bad this turn, luckily, because we're going to be able to evolve and then ramp and hopefully get an energy. So let's Luxray, Dynamotor, throw that there, and then Lilies, or excuse me, Lilies. Try to get an energy to the retreat. There's an energy for the retreat, so that's good. Throw a Lavencia down to get the risky ruins out of here. Energy for retreat. Bring up Luxray. And I'll go ahead and get the energy back because it synergizes with Canary in case they bump the stadium. I'm going to keep Fez off the bench for now, I think. Knocked out. I guess I'll go ahead and put it down in case he does some kind of hand disruption. But this is the comeback engine I was talking about in this deck. So we're going to Piercing Gaze for 120, knock out the Badoo, and then take one of his 2 cards. So he'll only have 2 cards next turn. 2 Pokeballs. Okay, so I'd rather him only have 1 than 2, especially with a board like that. So, and we get a prize card. That's cool. There's another Tanamo. Probably won't be done. Okay. So, the deck is churning a little bit. It's trying. It's like I said, it's still kind of clunky. It definitely needs to be revised in my opinion with a little bit better stuff, but it's on the way for sure to being a possibility. Of course, with, like I said, with the amount of fighting you're going to see in meta, even your locals and especially regionals, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near a high tier deck, but a fun deck after all. So depending on what he meows for here, it proves where he's at. If he meows for a Lily, which which I would assume that's what he's going to do to get a hand. Then he's healed up. Okay. So he's going to heal it for a Starmie and an energy and attack for a Frostlass and an energy. That's disgusting. He's doing 350, so he is going to be able to knock me out there. Really hoping this Luxio doesn't go down. I guess I'll put up the Dynamo. Well, there's Luxray. Dynamotor. Attach. I wish she didn't have steel weakness. That's kind of silly to me that he's weak to steel. If he was weak to lightning, then we'd be in a lot better spot right now. The Starmie's weak to lightning. I'm assuming that's why the Starmie hasn't seen play yet.
This sprint prints everything to get you.
So, is there a way to trim our hand down? I guess we can throw the Dynamo on the bench, even though it'll probably get bumped. We can fail Pokepad. And then we can Canary. And discard Morty's. Look. Oh. Not having second strings here is kind of scary too. I guess we actually should have done that, but here we are. Okay. Retreat. Yeah, no, I honestly don't know what's next. I assume I probably should have a few more reps with the deck before I made a video on it, but here we are. So he's got two knockouts easily. So I'll go ahead and throw him the thumbs up if he sees it. Okay, maybe he doesn't see it. Okay, he definitely sees it. And he got me. GG, bro. So yeah, that's the showcase of Luxios. It's honestly, it felt a lot better when I played it in paper. Of course, Pokemon TCG Live can't lag when you're playing in paper. Like I said, we probably would have won that first game, but it is what it is. The deck is super cool. It's super fun to play. It definitely deserves more love. It has a lot of cards in it that I don't think are necessary, like the Electros EX and the Rotom and the Stunfisk. Stunfisk is okay and Rotom's okay, but I don't think they're really necessary pieces. I would almost rather take this Shaman out and just put a second Battle Cage in. I know that stops abilities, that stops attacks, but I mean, this deck probably just loses to Dragapult anyway, so if you're worried about Dragapult, then you might as well just not play it at your locals, you know, or just not play it anyways, because it's entirely weak to fighting. But I think the deck definitely has some possibility to it. I think it just needs some some more fine tuning. Like, I don't understand why it plays Iris's Fighting Spirit. I think it needs to be on more of a control style package with the Luxray's first attack and Zerosix to really cut down on their hand. I like the unburst down. Levencia helps with ramp if you need it. That's not too bad. And yeah, just focus more on that package of stalling and with the Rotom, the Stun Fisk, and the Piercing Gaze attack from Luxray, the Budew early in the game. Instead of trying to be at the moment it's trying to do both. It's trying to be an aggressive deck along with a control deck, and it's just not doing a whole lot. So I will be coming back to y'all with a revised list, but at this current time, this is not the one. See y'all next time.